All right, here we go. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome back here to Let's Talk Live here on the LTL Media Channel. That's what Let's Talk LTL stands for. It's Let's Talk Live, and we're going to have a fantastic night tonight. I have some amazing guests here in the studio. I have Dana and Tracy from Resistance to Silence, and I really wanted to bring them in because I know that they were a couple that have been in this movement quite from the start, like right when Aiden's story broke. So I want to hear their journey through the Free Karen Read movement. So I'm not going to wait too much longer. Let's widen the shot and bring Tracy and Dana in and hear their story tonight. Tracy, Dana, welcome to LTL Studio. How's it going?
Good. Doing good. Thanks for having us. This place is great.
Thanks. It's a lot smaller than you think, right?
It is.
But no one needs to know that.
No one needs to know.
No, it's perfect size.
And if you want to look at the audience and say anything, the camera's right there. You can wave to everybody. Don't be shy, and we'll hang out. I always get a little nervous before shows, but hey, what the hell? Yeah. Anybody, please make sure to smash the like button when you come in, and we're going to have a great show here. So start me off. How did you get involved in the Free Karen Read movement? How did you hear about it? And then what made you, really get involved?
I'll defer to Tracy to start that. He's the one who got me involved in it. It was, we obviously living together. It was, she called me into the room. She's like, have you heard about this story? I'm like, yeah, kind of, sort of. Karen Read, this happened. And then she turned me on to Turtle Boy.
I was like, you have to watch this episode of Turtle Boy. You have to. I was a fan before, but not like I am now. I'd catch, a video here and there, but now obviously I'm a dedicated viewer.
You're a rider and a Free Karen Read supporter.
Yeah, a proud rider.
Yeah.
But we all heard about an officer getting killed. His girlfriend left him in the cold. That story, and then it just kind of went away. You had a weird feeling about it, like how did that happen?
Yeah.
And then it went away. And then when Aiden put the story out, it was, wait, what? So, getting familiarized with all the, and every night it was something different. Every night there was more stuff. There was more evidence and more stories and more things about the McAlberts. And it was just crazy. But then we heard about the rolling rally. He was going to do the rolling rally in July. So we were like, let's go. We brought the kids.
That's awesome.
Get in the car, took the top off the Jeep.
No, we did when the whole thing started, though, when Aiden's initial shows before the rolling rally, we literally were on the edge of our seats, like every single night, watching, listening to the story and the way it unfolded, and the fact that he presented what he did.
Yeah,
it was all documented, legal documents and all this other thing. Everything that he was presenting was real, and we were like, wait a minute, this is wrong. Like, and everybody, the people that say, you followed Aiden down this rabbit hole and he told you what to think and all this. That's nonsense. That's definitely nonsense, because we have our own minds. We can think what we think, but what he presented and in the manner he presented it was, he made it real.
Yeah.
Because he's just a real person. He's just a regular average guy doing his job. But he's an award-winning journalist. Don't get me wrong.
He is. Yes, he is.
He is.
Yeah. What about it captivated you to really get involved? Was it just Aiden's reporting, or was it the story itself? Did something, not seem right to you about it to follow it? Or was it just really that, Aiden's reporting and the exposure to kind of reel you in?
I think it's a combination of all of that. His reporting is obviously different from a lot of people. And people like Dana and I don't offend easily. So it was like, this guy's great. He just says whatever's
some
on
of the
his
dark
mind.
humor caught you. Yeah.
And he's hilarious.
Yeah.
So we were dying laughing while we were watching it. But he was reading court documents. So we knew that these are the things that were in writing, and they were court documents. So we knew what he was saying, the evidence was real. And like I said, every show, it was something different that he brought up and talked about for 2.5 hours. So it's just a combination of all those things. And Karen, like Dana said, it's wrong. It was just so incredibly wrong what they're doing to this woman, this innocent woman. And we couldn't just sit back and, be quiet. It's right in our state, right in our neighborhood, right in our backyard. It couldn't be any of us, So I had to get involved, and then I had to.
Yeah, and then
he got hooked
by association.
Yeah. Either,
but but she's always been a true crime person.
Yeah.
So she follows all that stuff. I mean, we go and watch 48 Hours or all these different
Cops and all that
yeah, all
stuff.
this type of thing,
The ID
Datelines
channel,
and ID, and I'll flip the channel like, oh, let's watch this one. Oh, I saw that. Let's put this one. I saw that too. And she's watched everything. She is very involved in that type of a thing. So for her to bring this to my attention, I was like, this is another one of those things, But when I really got into the story, and then you look at Canton, I mean, Canton is in the, it's so centralized for all of us.
Yeah.
It's only 30 minutes
right
away.
there.
It's right there. This is
20 minutes from my house.
It's our backyard.
Yeah.
This is everybody. Canton, what's going on in Canton, the town, what happened with this case? It's everybody. It should concern everybody. Everybody should be concerned.
No, I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. What about the movement do you think draws people in? We talked a little bit about this off camera before we started the show, but what do you think really captivates people? What captivated both of you about it?
I think when you go to a protest, you go to a standout, or you do something, you make a sign, and people see it, and you're using your voice to stand up for those who can't use their voice, like Karen. You just get a good feeling about that. You get a good feeling about yourself, and you did something to help somebody. And also the people, the people that we met day one, it was amazing. And now look at us. There's friendships that have evolved.
Yeah.
And absolutely.
Just it's a family. It really, really is a family. I mean, you got all the YouTubers. You're our family. It's we watch you every night in our living room. It's inviting. It's an inviting group of people, I think.
It is. It's true. I mean, everybody that's involved that we've met along the way everybody's so gracious. Everybody's so, you look at, going forward, obviously, with the trial was that mindset being out there in front of that courthouse or down the street from the courthouse.
Down the street from the courthouse.
But the way that everybody looked out for each other, the way that certain people took over, Chrissy and Allison and Erica and they all were out there, like they were the mothers. They were making sure everybody had drinks and that type of thing. It's just food and everybody was well taken care of. I heard there was an incident one day where someone got overheated. And they just, was sprung into action.
That's awesome.
And, ice and drinks and the whole 9 yards. Sit down, have a chair. It's incredible. It really is. The nicest people I've met along the way. And some of them, like, I'm just blown away that I've met because they're so.
I haven't really met I haven't met a bad person in any of this. Yeah, exactly. Everybody that I've come in contact with is either, open smiles, hugs, handshakes. Yeah. Where are you from? For me, I watch your channel. I love your stuff. You're doing great. It's a lot of encouragement. And I can't say one bad thing. I remember the first time I went down and stood out during the trial. It was really hot. We've had some 90-degree, degree days with 90% humidity. And I got overheated at one point, and people were just passing me water and here, sit under the tent and get cooled off. And it's been, people are really, really gracious and very nice. And, and I can't even say enough about the Reed family too, how gracious they are. The last, the Sunday we're out at the standout, we got to spend time with Kelly Reed, who I love and respect so much. Her and I talk a lot, and just all the other supporters and followers there. And then we had that surprise, Karen shows up, and that really makes people's day. When she can show up and do those things. And, I kept saying, even going, and I didn't even know, I kept going, I kind of hope she comes by. It will really make everybody's day here. And we even saw it. People driving by were pulling over and like, oh my God, that's her. Can I get a photo with you? And she stopped and talked to every single person there.
At length.
Yeah.
It wasn't just short little conversations. She wanted to get to know
everybody. The whole family's like that.
Yeah,
they're all very
Nathan,
very
Mr. Reed, Mrs. Reed. They're great, and they're the
sweetest people.
Yeah, and that's and I think that's the whole thing. Is you look and you go, there's no way that that what the Commonwealth is saying that she did this. It's just not in her heart.
Yeah.
It's not in her heart at all.
We've all been in relationships and we get mad.
Of course,
you get that angry at that point. You're gonna do something that drastic. Like that's not gonna happen. You know? That's just a different kind of person, and knowing her personality, that's definitely not her, but look at all the facts and everything else.
Of course,
put all that stuff aside. Just her personality. That's not who she is.
Yeah. It's not in her character. I don't see it. I don't see that in her heart. And I'm a pretty good judge. I think we're all pretty good judge of characters in our life. We make a mistake here and there, but I don't see it in her heart at all. It's just not there. So tell me about when you got involved and started really getting involved in kind of taking in the story. When was the first time that you started going out and protest? Because you've been out there really from the beginning, from what I understand.
Yeah, I think the first thing before we actually went to a couple of the hearings and went. I went inside.
Did you get in? You got inside? Yeah,
in the bigger court.
Oh wow, cool.
Pre-trial
yeah.
We were at all of them.
Oh wow.
We got into a few of them. So that was crazy too. So then we started protesting a lot, whether it be overpasses or we went to Morrissey's reunion in Quincy.
Oh, you did? You went to that? How was that?
Oh, it was amazing.
You're all protesting out there?
Yeah.
Were you getting looks when you're out there?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that.
They had barriers.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They thought we were the scariest people.
Every third car was a cop.
Just looking at you.
Just the glare.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But we got a lot of beeps, too.
A lot of people, we had a lot of traffic that day. It was, 5 o'clock? 6
yeah.
o'clock?
It was,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was Thursday afternoon.
It was awesome. Yeah. People are telling us where we can stand. And at that point, there was only I'd say 20, 30 of us.
I think
they weren't the crowds that you see now. But we were still,
Well, it's grown into so much. I mean, backing up, our first thing was probably the rolling rally. When we got out there for the rolling rally, again,
that was July, right? Last July. Wow, it's almost been a year. It has. It's been a year.
Yeah.
It's been a year now.
All the pictures kept coming up on my memory. So I was like, oh my God, that was a year.
It's been a year now.
We took the Jeep and we went with our friend Kendra and my daughter, who was 18 at the time, I guess. So we all just piled in, let's go check this out and see what's happening, and we just bounced around Canton, and it was amazing. And the people were so just they acted like we were out of control. This was a disturbance and all this other nonsense.
And look at Aiden. Look at the charges he's got for the rolling rally.
Intimidating and all this stuff.
It's crazy.
You got to be kidding me. We didn't do anything wrong. We were out there and we were having, we were socializing. Aiden had the megaphone and he told the story. This is what happened. This is who lives here. Nobody went on.
We weren't on their lawn.
We
were just in the street. He didn't do anything wrong.
In the street speaking. It's amazing, right?
Nobody
and this is what happens with free speech in this country now. They try to shut us down.
Oh, absolutely.
It's funny. I look at and just to jump topic a little bit here, but I always watch videos, that the mainstream media will put up on YouTube, and I don't want to get political here, but we have a lot of stuff going in our politics right now, and I'm watching they might post a Trump video or a Kamala video because we know they're going to both run, and I always see the comments turned off. They don't want to have that public discourse. But that's what we need in society to talk. And listen, you're not going to agree with everybody on everything. We all have our own minds and our values and places in life. But I think that, that's one thing that the mainstream media doesn't allow us to do. And I think that's the fantastic thing about, channels like Aiden, Will and myself and Mike Young Jerks and Tom, whoever it may be, Melanie. You're going to get the real. It's not, it's unfiltered. You're going to just get me and the guests that we have on, and there's no script. We have that mainstream media where they're filtering everything. I mean, we saw it all during Karen's trial, what they were trying to do, vilify her in the media, showing every tight shot of her, and she might have a little smile and you're like, oh, she's in there smiling today and smirking and stuff. I'm like, because she's got to sit in court with all these people, these witnesses on the stand that are lying about her right now and not telling the truth.
That's all they do. They're able to control the narrative. In this point, in these different formats like yourself and Will and Aiden, everybody has a voice. Everybody can chime in, and they should be able to. You know, I look at like even for instance, one time in front of the courthouse, I was interviewed by, I don't know, somebody interviewed me, and they were like, "Well, you guys, what about John O'Keefe?" I'm like, what do you mean? Well, he seems to be lost in all.
No, he's
I'm
not.
like, what are you talking about? Is that truly what you think? I was absolutely blown away.
Yeah.
You know, I almost walked away, but I'm like, okay, I gotta set the
My
record
sign
straight.
literally said "Justice for John O'Keefe."
Yeah.
Right next
Yeah. It's like, how do you figure, you know, like we can't get one without the other.
Right.
Exactly.
And this is
If there's
exactly why we're here.
if there's justice in Karen's case, this continues to focus the shift on who did this to John.
Right.
And we know who did.
Yeah.
All those people that were in 34 Fairview that
Exactly.
night.
Mhm.
And if we can get Karen free and clear of this, maybe someone wakes up. Hopefully someone wakes up in the Commonwealth. Probably not going to happen,
hello.
but those are the people that you need to start looking at.
Exactly.
I mean, we clearly just saw, over 10 weeks of that trial,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know, watching them literally lying in front of, you know, the nation, the world,
Yeah.
because this is worldwide
It
now.
is
It is.
worldwide.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, just the compounding lies, you know, and then we sum it up with the defense. They bring ARCA on and just say, this never happened.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we still get people that deny science.
Yeah.
How can you deny
Yeah,
science?
Right.
That's how we all
Yeah.
live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
These people are geniuses for a reason.
Right. Right. So you're going to deny Albert Einstein?
Yeah.
Come on. That's science.
Yeah.
You know, the law of
Yeah.
relativity, you know, that's why we're here,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And I still get shit for it today. I've lost people through this movement.
Yeah.
I have literally lost acquaintances and friends of mine that will not associate with me anymore
Yeah.
because they are dead set that Karen Reed is guilty. And I'm sorry, she's not. And I've lost friends. Have you experienced that too? Or
I know that the people of Canton have experienced that.
I'm sure they have.
Neighbors upon neighbors. It's, you know, they have to live next to people who just outright, you know, just start with them. You know, their conversations are just nasty. And they've lost people that they've known for 20, 25 years. The town's divided. As far as we go, I don't think our families aren't exactly, you know, they're not as into it as we are, but they do they support.
Yeah, they're
So
not.
we're
They're not
lucky in
fully
that.
on board. They look at us like we're crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not
And they
gonna lie,
worry,
but, you
and
know,
they
yeah,
worry.
yeah,
But-
be careful out there, that
Yeah.
type of thing. But you know, I think initially it was we sat them down actually this past Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
It's
Showed them
like,
the frame
Yeah,
video.
you're gonna watch the frame video now. Happy Thanksgiving. We're gonna sit down and watch it.
We just wanted them to know
That's
why
great.
we're so passionate about
Yeah.
it, you know. So, and that was a good
Yeah,
circle.
it's funny because you know, I'm really close to my mom, and she asked me, you know, how's the channel doing? You know,
Yeah.
how was the studio, the guests, and tell me about it. And you know, she has a lot of time at home now because she retired, and she'll go, I saw something that came up on the TV about did you know about this?
Oh,
And I'm like,
cute.
yeah, I did, but I'll let you tell me.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cute.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
she's involved, and you know, I didn't know if you knew, but did you see what happened in court today? And I'm like, yeah, I probably streamed it.
yeah, right.
That's
Yeah.
adorable.
That's fantastic. But it's good. I mean, it's good to feel that support. You know,
Of
You're
course.
to have somebody saying, "Hey, you know, it's validating in a sense, and not that you need validation, but to have somebody saying, you're doing good, you're doing the right
Yeah,
thing.
we
Like
support what
I'm
you're
happy
doing.
that you're supported. Yeah, and that's it goes a long way. And I think a lot of people have found their voice throughout this movement. I think that's a massive thing. People that were otherwise, you know, quiet and didn't want to, you know, go out in public. People who are just antisocial or whatever their case would be. They didn't want to go out in public, and now, you know, they're showing up at the courthouse all the time,
Yeah.
and they're making all these friends with people, and they're, you know, coming out of their shell. It's
Mhm.
really knocked down a lot of boundaries for people.
It's
And I
done.
know-
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Tracy. Go
I know
ahead.
personally that's happened to me.
Mhm.
I mean, I would never have thought I
Mhm.
would have emceed the Canton 9 protest
Yeah,
or, you know,
that's
got
true.
up in front of anybody. You know, I do it for work and business, but that's a completely, totally different thing.
Mm.
I found my voice. I know that. Getting close to Jen O'Donnell and Rita and watching the select board meetings. How could you not want to use your voice after seeing these people that have such
Powerhouses.
passion and they're trying to save their town?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the influence it's just been amazing on me
Yeah,
personally.
they're powerful powerhouses.
Yeah, they are.
Very influential. You know, like you look at Rita and Jen and the way they get up and speak.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean,
Rita and Jen are
it-
just powerhouses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, it really truly is.
I call Jen the bull.
Yeah.
Jen's the bull. Doesn't take shit. I always call her the bull.
Yeah.
And just Rita is just this amazing ball of just energy, positive energy. I've never met anybody like her in my entire life. She's a very and I don't say this in a wrong way, a very rare breed of person, but just amazing to have those qualities inside of her.
But the thing is, that's her, and that's what she.
That's what makes her her. Yeah.
When I like I said earlier, I worked for Rita for years, and that's what she brought every day to the office. You know, let's do this. Let's get this done. We're gonna,
she's a leader.
Truly
total leader.
It's amazing.
And it's sad that she's not on that, that board right now. I would have loved her on that board and change some things in Canton.
Yeah, that was a whole different. I mean, that whole month of March, we stood out every weekend for the entire month of March, and we were out there every weekend, and there was crews out there, throughout the week, and I was seeing the scales tipping. Like, well, she's gonna win. And unfortunately, it didn't unfold that way. But that's just the way the nature of the beast in that town.
But you got to look at it in a positive way too. Even though she didn't win, at least she got her voice out there, and we got our voices out there, and people know, what's going on.
And
so
she can use her voice, even more now.
Yeah, of course.
If she was elected, then she probably wouldn't have been as loud.
Yeah, of course. So maybe it worked out for the best. It's funny you talk about things. How much this movement has changed people and brought people out of their shell. I know that certainly did that for me. For someone that has struggled, and I'll be completely open and honest here, I've struggled with a lot of anxiety issues and social issues myself. This has made me a much stronger person. Like we were talking, off camera, the first time I showed up, I was nervous as hell. I put I had a mask. It was cold that day, but I had a mask on my face, and and I still get a little bit of it because a lot of people notice who I am now, and hey, LTL, and I'm kind of ducking, but I'm getting, I think, more comfortable with that, and then being able to do stuff like this and have people come in and really just see who people are in this movement and kind of peel back the onion layers on them and find out what their story is. It's helped me. It's helped me socially to get out and kind of come out of that shell a little bit too.
A lot for a lot of people.
And people wouldn't realize it. Like you're a YouTuber, you're on YouTube, but I'm behind a camera here. When you get out, sometimes it's a little bit different, but it's definitely, it's definitely, like I said, it's changed my life a lot. I owe it a lot to the people that support this movement and myself and this channel, and it's been cool. It's been a pretty cool experience. I would have never known. You guys would have never been sitting here.
Exactly.
Everything in life happens for a reason. I really, really believe in that. And if this is the direction of whatever the gods that may be, or the spirit that's guiding me and guiding both of you right now, then we're in a good place, I guess.
Well, this is where we're heading. I mean, the way that everything. I mean, this case is so beyond, just Karen Reed and just Officer John O'Keefe. This is about the select board in Canton. This is about the First Amendment. This is huge.
Yeah.
This is going to change case law. This is going to change so much when the time comes.
Yeah, they were talking about that in the paper, an article I read yesterday, that this potentially could, start changing some laws here in Massachusetts, and what we need. I laugh about it. I always laugh. The history of Massachusetts. The history of the Revolutionary War that started here was to fight back against tyranny and the British and not have, fight back against taxes, the Boston Tea Party. And it's like, we've become the British again. It's just the politics here have gotten really, really dirty and corrupt. And, certainly, and I didn't even really realize it that much because maybe I didn't pay attention to it before, but there's a lot of corruption in our police departments in Massachusetts. It's kind of scary. It's really scary. And it is time for reform. And it's funny. I never thought that I'd be sitting here saying these words, but we do. We need oversight and reform in a lot of these things. And something needs to get done. And I'm getting tired of our governor, Maura Healey. She likes to get out and give the give the headline and the quote, but there's no action. Like what do we have to do? Wait for another dead police officer that's killed by someone at a residence to really resonate to the people. I don't want any dead police officers, and one is enough. What's happened to John O'Keefe? Like how can this happen?
Act.
Yeah.
act, you know.
Do something.
Words only go so far with me, you know. Let's do something. She needs to do this. Somebody needs to do something.
Yeah.
You know, I've been waiting on the feds all
The
this
feds.
time.
I was just gonna say we've been waiting for. Hello, hello, feds.
Come on in.
We're here. Come on in.
Yeah, seriously.
Josh Levy, let's get in
Right.
here
Yeah.
and do something here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm really scared right now for the citizens, you know, of Massachusetts and statewide of, you know, what's going on. And, you know, I even watched myself. I was pulled over a couple of weeks ago being a bad boy out on the highway speeding, but I have to say the state trooper that pulled me over was very nice. But listen, I had my registration out, my hands were on my steering wheel like this, and I didn't move.
Yeah.
You know, I take a little bit more caution now in things that I do. And even at the standouts when we're out there around the courthouse, if a trooper looks at me and says move, I'm moving. I'm not going to resist. You know, I don't want to be thrown down or you know, brought to jail or anything like that. So,
and that's also the fear too now.
Yeah.
You know, going out there for the first time.
It's scary.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Canton 9. Look at what they did to Aiden. Look at what they did to Jen. It's scary to get out there because these things might happen.
Look what they did to Karen.
Exactly,
Why we're here.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
look what they did to Karen.
Yep.
And if you don't, you know, if it can happen to Karen, it can happen to you too. So it's very scary. We need some major change and oversight in our police departments.
It needs to be eye-opening for everyone. I mean, you know, people looking at it just in a tunnel, saying, you know, this is just it's just about this woman. And no, it's not. You know, it is like I said before. This is so much bigger. People need to open their eyes to what's going on. Like you said, the corruption that's going on in the state is not just isolated to this incident. You know, I mean, we live in a little small town. Our town could be great for all I know, but do I know that for a fact?
Right.
You know, open my eyes, you know, start going to the select board meetings, get involved in your town politics and figure out what's going on. We're not political people. We're not, you know, even standouts. We never did this.
We never stood up for anything before. Yeah.
But what drove you to do that? Why?
I don't know. I can't really explain it.
Is there any?
People ask me that question a lot, and it's just it was a feeling. I felt it in my heart that I had to get out there. I don't know how else to explain it. We were so close to Canton, you know, and it was just such a major thing. It was just so big. It was just so big, and we were in such a small town, and you know, it's a small area that we're in, and it just, I don't know. It was just something that took over me that I couldn't just sit there. I couldn't just sit there.
Yeah, for me, it was, you know, my best friend was murdered in 1994, and he didn't get justice in his case. The prosecution in the DA's office essentially fumbled the case around. One of the kids took a plea deal, and he was just out in a couple years. But the other kid that was involved in the murder, you know, they boggled the case, and essentially he got off. He didn't serve any time. Wow. He walked away. Wow. So there was never any justice in his case. And I felt the need at this time, being in the local area, you know, this is someone now that I can fight and help get justice in her case. And let's, again, not leave John out of this, justice in his case. I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to look at the camera, you know, to the audience here. When this ends with Karen and Karen walks out of that courtroom free and clear of all these charges, we still have work to do.
Oh, a ton of work.
Absolutely.
We have to continue to fight for John. You know, we still have a lot of work to do. And, you know, the protests need to continue. The, you know, ramping up and talking about what's going on. You know, they both need justice in this case. It's not just Karen, it's John as well too.
Right. And we have to keep it going. We have to keep it up front and keep getting out there and protesting, keeping it fresh in the news too.
Yeah, we ain't got no quit.
Exactly. Exactly.
That was a perfect statement you could have made. You know, we ain't got no quit, and it's true. You know, as soon as we quit, what do? We just can get complacent.
Right.
That's it. And then go back to the same old nonsense that we're dealing with.
We
You know,
stop.
let me ask this about your friend. Was that Norfolk County?
No, it was well, actually, let's see. It was North Attleboro, so I don't know if is that Bristol? It might be Bristol County. Yeah, it was back in 94.
Wow.
And there's a lot of weird things that happened about that. That was on Super Bowl Sunday. My friend at that time he was young. He had just got out of rehab for drugs, and he had not been around for quite a long time. and randomly just like showed up at my house and said, hey, I'm clean now. I'm spending time at my mother's house. You should come over for, the Super Bowl. Let's hang out. My grandfather actually ended up getting sick, and my mother and I had to go to Waltham that day. And essentially my grandfather being sick saved my life, because I would have been there when these two kids showed up and murdered and it was over drugs. Wow. It's sad. It was over drugs. And the funny thing is, I never really had any inkling that he was look, he smoked pot, but I never had any inkling that he was deep into like cocaine and stuff like that. And that's what it was. It was over cocaine.
Wow.
And these two kids showed up, and I don't know why the hell he let them in. He let them in. A fight broke out over drug money, and they stabbed him in the apartment. He tried to run, and he got down. It was in an apartment building. He got out to the back doorway and went to jump up over a fence, and they got him again. And they left, and he essentially crawled around to the first floor basement apartment and started pounding on the window. They had the ambulance that showed up, but he died on the way to the hospital. He didn't make it. So basically just suffocated, and that was it.
Wow.
And I remember, because I was starting to head down a pretty troubled, because he was in trouble, and I hung out, and he was doing a lot of bad things. And I remember specifically his mother at the wake looked at me in my eyes and said, please don't be like Tony. And that kind of clicked. And I said, okay, I have a bigger purpose here in life to kind of shape myself up, because I was turning into a bad adolescent. Not like arrested or anything, but just doing bad teenage shit that could lead down that path to the wrong way, hanging out with some really bad people. And, once she said that to me, it kind of woke me up, and I said, I think I have a bigger purpose on this earth. So let's kind of go this way. Let's not go left. We'll go right today. I just want to recognize this really quick. Christine F., thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. I appreciate that. You have all the perks to the on my homepage. If you scroll all the way down, you'll get all the perks of members only content. And I'm starting to try to do more regular members only. But let's do this. Let's transition into resistant to silence. So what made you start your channel, and how did you get involved becoming, on the YouTube platform?
Well, I think when Aiden got arrested and put in jail, I think that's when we decided, and with Paul, we decided that we really need to not keep quiet. We really need to, save Turtle Boy. We had to get out there and continue protesting. So the justice page is great, but every time we put information out there, it would easily get lost.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of people say, "What is this? And what time is this? And where is that?"
So you were doing more of the notifications at the standouts and stuff. Okay,
and we wanted the Facebook page to be, resistant to silence, to be the place where people went to look.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to push through or search. And then it just turned into, where we are now. So.
Well, it morphed from, backing up a little bit, when Aiden got arrested, last October, right? So for the first time, and then, subsequently the Canton 9, that whole thing happened. So we kind of got involved in that. That was basically before we started the channel.
Yeah.
But we did the Canton 9 protest at the police station.
Okay.
The standout for that.
Yep.
And that was, quite the undertaking. But that was like, we had only met Paul
a few months
before that. So we really just
you met him at one of the standouts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Front Street.
Bridges, But so we pulled it all together, and then when the Canton 9 protest happened, let's do something for them. Let's try to get the word out. And we met with Rafferty before that day came.
Really?
Yeah, with 3 of us sat
How
down.
was that?
It was crazy.
It was wild.
Also, Officer
Gallagher.
Was
Gallagher was in that room with us, and we were talking about it. And Rafferty said numerous times, Paul doesn't know really much about this case. And we're thinking, like,
meaning Paul Christopher.
Paul Gallagher.
Oh, Paul Gallagher. I'm sorry.
Right?
Yeah.
The leaf blower.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
He doesn't know anything about it. He doesn't really know anything about this.
Wow.
And I didn't realize it at the time. I went back to look at that.
That's
news
deflecting,
report,
right?
Yeah, totally. And I was like, I'm like, he was at the scene. That guy was at the scene.
Yeah, he doesn't know much about this case.
Yeah.
That was
Wow.
Yeah, it was
was absolutely mind blowing. So, but yeah, we met with her again. We tried to establish the boundaries because of what happened to the Canton Nine.
Of course.
What was happening to Aiden? Were we going to have a protest?
Yeah.
People would show up and get in trouble, right? Are they going to do the same thing? Well, you guys shouldn't be here because across the street is no from the police station, the other Albert brother, Fredo.
Chris?
No. It's right on tip.
It slipped my mind too.
I don't know why. He's irrelevant anyway. But he lived across the street. So, we were like, okay, now we're basically within 100 feet of a family member. Chris was across the street during that protest. So what are we going to do here? So we basically went there to establish ground rules. We weren't asking for permission. We weren't asking for,
Tim Albert.
Yes.
Yeah. Someone just said in the chat.
you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank
I
you.
see you. I see you, Mike. Thank you.
So many of
Tim.
them.
Yeah, there's so many of them. It's like they're like fucking gremlins. They just keep
Exactly.
multiplying if you put water on them.
Yeah, seriously.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't let them eat after fucking
Yeah,
midnight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No sunlight.
Yeah.
New rules in Canada.
They are. They're like fucking gremlins. They just keep multiplying. Drop water on them. You have 8 of them pop up. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's good. But yeah, so he lives across the street from the police station.
Yeah.
So in turn,
Everybody liked the gremlin.
Everybody congregated there. Chris was
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
A few other people were there during that, and Aiden had to show up.
Yeah.
So we were looking for we made sure that everybody was going to be safe. We didn't want anything to happen
Yeah.
to anybody else.
And initially, we went there because we wanted to protest outside to
Yeah.
eat pizza.
Right.
So we said, "What's going to happen to us if we do that?" And she basically said,
So you get
same
arrested.
exact thing. The same exact thing.
Unfucking real.
Yeah. So I mean, the 3 of us collectively said, "You know what? We can't put these people in harm's way.
Right.
This is why we met. This is what we need to know,
Right.
and this is what we need to tell everybody."
Yeah.
So that's why they said, "Have at it in the front lawn. You can do whatever you want. We'll be here. You can use our bathrooms. You can do whatever you want."
Yeah.
So, and we said, "Why?" And she said, "Because we're not intimidated by you."
Yeah.
They just keep throwing that word in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's your God-given right to be out on that street, that sidewalk,
Mhm.
and protest in the name of free speech
Right.
and the First Amendment right.
Mhm.
And they're literally taking that away from everybody. That's
Yep.
crazy.
It is
Yeah.
crazy.
It's crazy. Let me just do this really quick. If everybody can just smash the like button for me, we got about 500 people in here right now. I want to welcome everybody in. If you just came over from the Canton hearing and you came over to check out, I have Dana and Tracy here from Resistant to Silence, getting their story today of how they got involved in the Free Karen Read movement. And we've been having a fantastic conversation so far. But if you can just smash that like button, we'd like to get this to at least 500 likes by the end of the stream. We're at about 256. So we got a little bit of work to do. I would appreciate that because the more engagement we have on this video, the more it gets out into the algorithm. We're hearing a fantastic story here today. So yeah, that's crazy that, we can't go to Canton in protest. I wonder if we even just drove down the street protest, they probably pull us over and arrest us.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's insane.
You look at Aiden went to have a meal of food.
Yeah, the meal of food. I'm in here having a meal of food, and these people are out here,
Right?
yelling at me. Yeah, I love the meal of
The
food.
meal food
But
is
that's
great.
all he did. He
It's
had
so
the meal
good.
of food, and then all of a sudden he's harassed, and they basically congregated out there waiting for him to come out.
Yeah,
And then
Intimidating.
intimidating him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Assaulting him.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Assaulted
Jill Daniels
him.
assaulted
Yeah.
him.
Jill
and-
and
yeah,
Jim Ferris.
yeah, and
Ferris.
threw, grabbed his phone. He's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But you look at
And nothing I don't think anything happened to her for that, right?
No, I think there's a
They're
summons.
Is there?
Court.
Oh, there is summon.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
yeah,
was
he
gonna
did
be
press
summons.
charge
Yeah.
because I think they pushed Meredith as well too, or something
Yeah,
like
they
that.
touched her somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Put her hand.
Yeah.
put their hands on
Can't
her.
put your hands on
No,
people.
you don't
Screw
touch
that. That's
people.
assault.
But that's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
They've
again,
always done it.
We've had hundreds of people out in front of a courthouse and protests and all this stuff. Nobody's laid hands on anybody.
Right.
Even in the worst of circumstances,
Mhm.
when KP and all those what they call the
Food stamp
the
five.
Food stamp five.
when they all show up, everybody's just
Whatever.
keep it down, you know, don't engage them and that type of thing. Had that been the other way around, these people would have been hands on somewhere along the way, you know. It's awful.
Absolutely. Let me just recognize this. Lori, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Again, you on the front page, if you go on my YouTube page, you'll get all the members only perks. So I appreciate that. Thanks for supporting LTL and joining our conversation today. Yeah. And, you know, and here we are again, you know, August 9th, we have another hearing that we're all going to go to support Karen. You know, again, this is a sham trial that is being pushed against a woman that is completely factually innocent. And here we go again. You know, I'm wondering what's going to happen here on the 9th. You know, is the Commonwealth going to, you know, I want to hear your opinion. Is the Commonwealth going to see Tracy's face already? Is the Commonwealth going to say, mercy, we tap out, or are we going to be here in January in the cold again in a trial?
I don't think they'll ever tap out.
Yeah.
It's just against everything that they stand for.
Yeah, they
need to protect the lie. They need to keep it going because they're in way too deep right now. They have to continue it.
Well, I always kept saying that they need Karen to be the fall person in this, because if she's not, what does it do? It exposes all of the corruption.
Right.
And the best thing that could have happened, and I don't say this in a positive way, but the best thing that could have happened, well, I guess it is positive. The Sandra Birchmore case was Karen Reed's case, because now we're getting a lot of shine on Sandra's case. We just had another hearing today as well. I didn't hear any of the details of it yet, but it is something that I want to look into. And the funny thing, actually, I did hear this. I think one of the attorneys for the Farwell brothers would not use Sandra's name today and said SB. Say her name.
Yep. It's so
SB.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because they know what he did. They know what Divine and the brothers did to her. You know, that just makes it right there.
Sick.
Yeah, they're sick people. And you know, it's you know, we're getting some light now shining on that case. And I've been doing a lot of lives on it here, and I've had, you know, that partnership with Mizzy and Suzanne on the Justice page. So I really value, you know, them coming here to LTL and telling, you know, help us kind of guide us through, because I'm still learning a lot about her case, but I'm getting I got it now. I know what happened.
You're talking to the right person.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, Mizzy's great. Oh, she's unbelievable. She really knows that case inside and out. So, you know, we had her on. Did we have her on one time?
I don't think
maybe we didn't have her on yet.
We spoke a lot with when she was doing a lot of the standouts in Canton for Sandra. We talked a lot about that and joined her for those.
I know there's one coming up August 25th for Sandra, I think, in Canton. And then the next Karen standout, which I think is going to be the 7th or 8th. I haven't really locked down the date yet. But I know it's going to be what is it? Labor Day.
Labor Day. Yeah.
Another big one. Another statewide.
Yeah.
So the one last weekend was fantastic.
Insane, right?
That was so good.
When I went through and did like my little music montage that I showed on the show the other night, I woke up that morning and I started going through just the Justice page, and I would grab the photos and I'm like, all right, you know, Woburn, and I'm like Dedham, and I'm like, you know, Plymouth and Middleborough, and I just my smile, I just kept smiling, and then I'm like Providence, Rhode Island, Nashua, Salem, New Hampshire, and I'm like, oh my God, and then even people that couldn't be here, you know, I had someone just took a picture of the sticker from Florida, and you know, I think someone wrote something on their car. They were driving from Massachusetts to Maine, you know, just driving and having that banner on their car. And I'm like, this is so cool. It's
so
cool. The greatest thing. And there was just so many people out, and to have people, you know, sacrifice their time on a Sunday, a day of rest, and to go out and stand for justice. It just made my heart like feel so good that people would do that. And everybody was so positive. And if you look, you know, you look out there at all the photos, there wasn't one scowl. There wasn't anybody being mean. You know, there was people from all walks of life and backgrounds and creeds and colors. And it was just amazing to see all that support out there. And, you know, the Free Karen Reed movement doesn't have any barriers behind it. You know, we welcome everybody, and there's people from all walks of life that want to be there. So, you know, we encourage people, if you're watching, you know, these shows, you know, LTL, Resistance to Silence, or anybody else that's in this movement, don't feel that you are left out. If you are in the Massachusetts area, we want you out there standing with us.
Yeah.
Come say hi.
Yeah, well,
That's all.
welcome you with open arms.
That's all
Yep.
it takes is just come and say hello.
Yeah.
Approach one person.
Yeah.
And you'll meet everybody.
You'll meet everybody,
Yeah.
believe me,
Yeah.
because we're all out there for the common, the same common cause.
Yep.
So again, I'm sorry, we kind of got off tangent. Tell me about your channel and what the motivational drive behind it was.
Yeah. So again, the Canton 9 thing kind of happened when that all unfolded. The year came, Aiden went to jail, and everybody just, it was just a rallying of the troops. We started the channel at the beginning of January, and like Tracy was saying, we basically did it as to consolidate all the information, where the standouts were going to be, that type of thing, and it just, kind of morphed from there a little bit.
Yeah, having guests on.
So we
making videos
again, but going back to even standing out. Period. We've never done that before.
Yeah.
We didn't ever foresee. I wouldn't. We asked me 2 years ago, would you be standing out doing like
Hell no.
I used to drive people on the side of the road that stand out holding signs. Like, this guy's wasting his time.
And here you are.
Yeah, seriously. Right?
now we wave to
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, even if I don't support their cause, I'll be like,
all right.
Great job.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Takes
for
a
what
lot
you believe,
to do
right?
that.
Yeah. So, I think that's, the premise of the show. So we kind of, it's kind of morphed, and it's morphing into something else. And I don't think we really truly know where it's going at this stage. We want it to be about the people,
right?
Because the people of this movement are the most important part. Not the most important part, but what I'm saying. The people in this movement are so crucial, and everybody's like, "Oh, I wish I could do more. I wish I could do more." It's like, you're doing as much as you can, and that's fantastic.
Just talking about it.
Just talk to people. Just you post on your page, your family sees it. The word's getting out. That means a lot. It goes a long way.
Yeah.
We also want to focus on helping Canton get their town back too.
Yeah.
I know you had Rita and Jen on last week.
I had Boston Mike on. He lives in Canton.
Yeah. So
with Tom.
Yep. So we want to help them as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Whatever they need us to do, we'll do.
Yeah.
We can use our station, our page as a platform for them to say whatever they want and get messages out, whatever message they want to get out. We want to help them. So.
Kate Ann in the chat, she says, two of my favorite people. I love you both with my whole heart. So
we love you too, Kate. I love you too.
Yeah, it's been again, it's been pretty amazing what I've seen happen over the last year, and so many people, and the crowd keeps growing and growing. And I laugh because, we may possibly, hopefully not, head back into a trial in January. But I laugh because, what does the court and the Commonwealth think they're going to do? Because there's so many people that know about this now. We were talking about this earlier. It's worldwide. I mean, we had people flying in from like England, Scotland, and then people that were coming from all over the nation. We had, I think it was a lady from Texas and Tennessee there at some
Colorado.
point.
That's great.
And, I laugh because I said, well, what do they think they're going to do in 6 months? I mean, that crowd's going to triple in size.
Exactly.
I mean, you're going to hold, everybody's going to be in, the town, in Dedham, and it's just going to triple in size. You can't hold everybody back. Do we go to another stupid buffer zone again?
That's what I was just going to say. Is that going to happen again? Because I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, did they really think it was that effective? Their premise for that was, we want to protect the jury.
They can hear it. They're seeing it.
Yeah, they can hear, they can see it, but they bust them in the back of the building. They weren't.
We didn't see. I didn't
see one juror. I mean, they didn't. We stood where we were supposed to. We followed the rules. We followed the guidelines. Nobody got out of control. And then they're going to do it again. If we go January, it's going to start over. It's like, come on, really?
And, I thought it was funny too. I think this was supposed to be like a strategical move. When did they set the trial date for the retrial? in January.
Yeah.
They think the cold is
Yeah.
literally going to
Yeah.
stop us.
Yeah.
We'll have heaters up there, you know, like
Exactly.
we'll rent some
we learned so
portable
much
heaters.
from last winter. We learned so much.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, we'll bundle up, we'll have hand warmers,
Yep.
body warmers, long johns, whatever
Yep.
you want to do. You're not stopping the freak Aaron Reed
No,
movement. It's just
absolutely
going to
not.
get bigger and stronger.
I remember the days of the we were waiting for the verdict and all those people that were out there.
Oh, so many people.
I couldn't believe it. I got out of the car and it was mind-boggling.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, it's gonna keep getting
It's
bigger.
going to triple
and
and
Really
bigger.
is.
quadruple in size.
Yeah, and
It's
that was
not-
a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's scary about it.
And it's odd too, because really, I mean, during the trial, and I would say even most of, if not the pre-trial hearings, the weather never really became a factor. It might have rained a couple of times, but to see like the skies, I mean, literally we're getting close to the non-verdict, and literally the clouds start coming in, and it was like just kind of like weird and odd and eerie. And it was just like, God, I hope this is not bad news, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, it's a mistrial, which was great, and then we started to get, we wanted a not guilty verdict, of course, but I'll take a mistrial. And then we started hearing, the jurors coming out and speaking, and just all the shenanigans over that. I literally just used the word shenanigans,
You did.
but all the shenanigans around that stuff, tomfoolery. But we started to hear more about that, and look, counts 1 and 3, they were unanimous on not guilty.
Right.
How do you go through? And I know that Yannetti and the new lawyer, and I forget his name, forgive me, but Weinberg. I know they're going to fight huge on the 9th and get some motions, but we know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
to say, look, this is double jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can't go through this again, and at least get it on the record, because keep in mind, if this ever goes to an appeal, this is all on the record, and I'm going to tell you, an appellate judge is going to go, no,
Exactly.
we're not. Yeah, when this goes to a higher court, if it goes up, it's
Yep.
No.
It's so ridiculous to think that they want to win this bad.
Mhm.
It's like, do you really want to win this bad? Because you guys look horrible.
Mhm.
Everything that you're presenting, Adam Lally, I'm sorry, but for the love of God.
Yeah.
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 Are we gonna have to go through
Yeah,
that?
I mean, you're
I
gonna
don't know.
really, you're gonna
Yeah.
put Proctor back up
Yeah.
there. How
Right.
could you even do that? They
Yeah.
can't call
They
him.
can't.
No.
They can't.
The defense will call him,
Yeah.
but they can't call him.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll
Or the other two. That
Yeah.
are being investigated.
Tully, Buchanan. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
you can't call them up there.
Yeah.
And that's the investigating officers.
Exactly.
So that should tell you something right there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I still get people that fight me on this. Oh, she's guilty. She, it's dead to rights. She's guilty. I'm like, are you like, what fucking trial did you watch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, what are you saying that we're not? Because any normal person would see that. Just do your research. Listen to it. She's innocent.
Yeah.
She's
Or just even basic
innocent.
logic. And we were talking
Basic
about
logic.
this off air, the shows that we watch. We were talking about, the first 48 and cops and stuff like that.
Yep.
When have you ever seen anywhere, let's just use first 48 for an example, when they roll up on a scene and there's witnesses around there, that they've allowed witnesses to walk away from a crime scene?
Right.
Yeah.
What do they usually say? Hey,
Yeah, get
where are
over
you
here.
going?
Yeah,
Come in.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, where do you think you're going?
Yeah.
But Jen McCabe is allowed to walk off
Yeah.
and just walk
Walk
into
in the
Brian
house.
Albert's house.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of seeing
Yeah.
anything like that
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So many red flags. It's just absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think when when we get back to January, because I'm 99.9% sure we will.
Unfortunately.
It's going to be more of the same. It's going to be Lally talking a bunch of nonsense.
Mhm.
What is he going to prove? Like, he didn't do anything. He didn't try to prosecute that case. He tried to defend.
Yeah. The McAlberts
Yeah.
and the corrupt cops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so awful.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we got the dream team working together, just absolutely killing it.
Yeah.
All those the cross were amazing. I mean, all of them. There was some that stuck out better than others, but they were so good.
All right. So I'm gonna go 1, 2. What was your favorite cross?
Oh, Jesus.
What was your
that's a
favorite
good
cross?
question.
I got mine.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Got to pick one. What's your favorite cross? It might be the same as mine.
That's so tough.
The thing that sticks out for me is when Jackson said, "Shame on you, shame on you, sir." That was.
I think my favorite.
Proctor. Yeah. So you like Proctor?
I'm gonna go with Proctor.
I want to say. I'm gonna say Jen.
Jen is mine.
Say Jen.
Oh, it's just great.
Just because.
Really?
Yeah.
You just said it 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
Yeah. I literally could do like another whole. I actually want to do like another whole show just on that cross. It's so good. I love just I'm like, oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And then he's got the Celebrate information up there, and he literally it's there, and he's just going through it, and he goes, okay, 227. You know, the 6 a.m. searches, the 3. So you're telling me that these you did, but this one, no.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And he goes, what is it? It's deleted. Oh God, I love it. And he just goes, really? It's so good. Like you're gonna really sit here in front of the world and say this bullshit and think that people are gonna believe that this jury,
Mr. Jackson,
shock and horror. We were in shock and horror. John is my best friend, and I loved him. Well, if he was your best friend and you loved him, when you called 911, why didn't you say officer down? Officer John O'Keefe down. My friend, Officer John O'Keefe, is down in the snow. We need someone here now.
There's a man lying in the snow.
Yeah, man lying in the snow.
Some guy.
Yeah.
That's a friend?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So everybody in the chat saying Jen McCabe, Proctor. Put it in the chat. I want to let everybody know whose favorite what their favorite cross
Colin was pretty good though.
Colin was good too.
He did a really to Colin too.
Really. And we're finding out more about him. The guy that supposedly had no social media and does not fight. Well, guess what? He does both.
Exactly.
He does both. Everybody said Jen.
Jen,
yeah.
That was a good
Crash Daddies I'm seeing. Let's see. Jen, a lot of Jens. Trooper
Jen?
Paul, that was a good one.
That was...
the pirouette. So you're saying he does a pirouette? Just, I mean, classic Jackson just stuff.
It's just so
the
silly.
Pirouette was great.
Yeah, it was.
The pirouette.
So I just say, like, as far as going the other way with it, though, probably the worst witnesses up there. Who would be your worst up on the stand?
Worst for me, well, Proctor was bad. I mean, my 3 is, I'll give you 3. My 3, I think, that totally crushed the Commonwealth: Jen McCabe, Proctor, and Brian Higgins.
Yeah, Higgins. For sure.
I mean, and even I would probably sprinkle Brian Albert in there, knowing that both of them destroyed their phones. I got that's some major issues. Why would you do that?
Right.
Why would you do that? Give me your couple. What would you say, Dana?
Yeah, I would go along with that. I think the other one would be
Trooper Paul was bad too.
Yeah.
It was almost laughable.
I feel bad. I felt bad for that guy. Like, really, is this guy really this?
Well, I'm telling you, my theory on that is they needed him to be the crash expert, and I'm telling you, they got him in that fucking room, and they went, "You are doing this," and they probably pointed right at him and said, "You're doing this."
They should have grabbed like one of those crash test dummies, put him
stuck him up there, and had a puppet behind him. Like the old commercials, the crash test dummy commercials.
Oh yeah, it would have probably went over better. We would have got more out of it. He was horrible.
Who do you think was the worst that sunk the Commonwealth? Or you can pick a couple if you want. Probably the ones that we said.
Yeah, I think so.
They're pretty much,
I think they're up there. But I do want a shout out to the Sullivan sisters because they were very effective. Yeah, that was a joke. That was towards the end, it just got a little bit out of control. Those Sullivan sisters didn't help anything.
No, that was total waste of time. Like everything else, you're gonna call 80 somewhat witnesses up there.
Yeah.
And waste time with an Aruba trip.
Or every time a witness got up, we had to, Adam Lalley's tactic, if you understand through that whole thing, was to drag all this out so the jury would forget. And that's why you heard all that stupid repetitive stuff like, was it snowing out?
Yeah.
What was the weather like?
Right.
What kind of drinks did they have? Where did they sit? That's to distract the jury so they forget, that the initial cover up of what's going on here. Because the longer you drag something out, especially when, you got to think, and this is what some people don't understand. You know, we sat on all this information for 8 months before we heard it in court. So we knew supposedly the jurors didn't hear about any of this. You know, you try to find an impartial jury, but you got to think they're getting 8 months worth of information that we've already had a head start in 10 weeks. So you're cramming a lot of shit in, and that, you know, dragging that out. That's what you're doing. You're you're thinning their you're trying to thin their memory. So, but you know, I'm just wondering here. You know, I keep saying that if I was the defense, and I think even Mark Betterow said this too, and I've had him on the show a couple of times. And gosh, I love him. He's great. Yeah, he is and you know, he said, you know, the what he would like to see, and I say this too, is that lead with ARCA. You know, the defense lead with ARCA. Start your case with ARCA. And I said, I would love to see them have a reconstruction, you know, because that's what they do. I would like to see a video and I think that would have helped the jury last time if they had some type of video. You know, I know that they spoke about it, but I think showing it and performing it, I think would probably help. And Guy, how do you feel about that?
They could use Plevin's video. That was
it's great, right? With the wine, was it a wine? It was a wine glass or a cocktail? It was a
martini glass.
Martini glass. Yeah. They should have thrown an olive with a toothpick in it too. Oh my God. But I think that would, you know, help. You know, and
I think again
show the physics behind it.
People need visuals. You know, you need to see. You know, when they show this display things on the screen.
Yeah.
You know, people get this is the timeline of the house long to die in cold, all that type of thing. So they see it. It's right there front and center. But when, you know, Alan Jackson, I give him all the credit in the world. He did a great pirouette, but but they need to see, you know, a video, like to your point, you know.
Yeah, I think so. Something, you know, something visually, because we are visual creatures now. I mean, our brains have evolved in that. I mean, look, you know, people are watching us tonight. They want to see what's going on, kind of a fly on the wall, you know, who's in the studio. But I think, you know, how our brains are kind of now reprogrammed and trained. You know, everything in life now, because I say this because I'm old, is just going so fast. I mean, you got to think, you know, 15 years ago, we had a beeper in our hand.
Yeah.
Now we have phones that literally at the touch of a button, you can, you know, book a trip and be in California tomorrow.
Right. And we get annoyed if it doesn't work right.
Right.
Right. So you know, learning all the math that you learned in math class. You'll never have a calculator in your hand when you need to learn all this stuff.
Several calculators that do several different things.
I can ask Siri what the calculator is. Hey, tell me the answer to this question. You know?
Yeah. So what's next for your channel? I know you're kind of revamping it, and I don't know if you've thought about some ideas. I said that, and if you don't mind me saying this, that some of your strongest points on the channel, which I really loved, was, you know, kind of those tributes and video montages to the people that stand out, and talking about the standouts, and, you know, proper etiquette during those standouts, and giving the audiences you know, that type of feedback. But are there any new elements or anything you'd like to bring in or do? Or
well, a lot of people have actually been making their own video and sending it to me, and cool. They're really good.
Yeah.
So I want to show those videos too, because it's the people. You know, reach out to me. This is what we want. We want people to reach out, give us ideas, tell us your story, because you know, we have our story. Everybody's story is just so interesting. So we want to hear things like that. And again, moving forward with the town of Canton, again, we want to be hopefully a voice for them too.
Yeah, they need a lot of help. You know, there's a lot going on in the town. I mean, you know, the police audit's still pending.
Right.
You know, what's going on with the select board and the way they're doing these virtual meetings and all this stuff, and shutting
supposedly
down.
That's supposed to end soon. Rita was saying, but
I don't know. I think they're going to get comfortable with it.
Well, apparently it was the COVID protocol. That's how they used it. So now
it popped up again, right? A couple people probably got sick.
So they're not using it in the correct way, of course.
Yeah.
They're not. Yeah. So they can't do it for very much longer. Yeah. They can't.
Have you ever been down to any of the Canton? Yeah, you've been to select board meetings. Yeah.
Let me tell you,
I'd like to go
when
down
you walk in that room, again, it's smaller than you think. You know, you're
closer
right
to that table than you think.
It's hot in there.
Is it really?
Yeah.
They do it on purpose.
Maybe.
Because they don't want people in there.
Yeah. Well, another thing we're not going to stop. But the tension is real. the tension. I mean, I was just standing there against the wall as a bystander, and I wasn't going up there to say anything clearly, but you could cut it with a knife. It really is bad.
You can feel the divide in the room. So there's people that show up that are just so against Rita and all them too.
Oh,
you feel it.
And they're making their comments.
No shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they heckle them while they're up there talking. Wow. Oh yeah, there's a lot of things you don't hear.
It's insane that people would be that brash about finding justice. I mean, I really have a hard time, of people that look at this and go, she did that. I mean, there's no fucking way. Like,
no way.
Did you not see the trial?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, and I said this earlier. I've lost. Have you lost any friends over this or all? I mean, I've lost friends.
No, not so much. I think the friends that the people that we are friends with now are the
more
people,
of the movement.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
More the people that are in our lives now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we haven't lost anybody, thank God.
Like her more so than myself. I mean, she's got a crew.
The crew,
posse.
Oh, yeah, the posse of the women of the movement, and it's amazing.
And it's funny how you say, like, all these women, and we're all from different walks of life, and there's no reasoning why we should all be friends.
Yeah. If you put it down on paper, it doesn't make any sense. Like, they should absolutely probably hate each other for what I can see, and they're all in constant communication. Hang out, love each other to death,
and we accept each other for who we are.
Just all different walks of life and
really,
people,
all together for the same reason.
I love it. I'm psyched for it.
By the way, I just dropped Dana and Tracy's link in the chat. That's Resistant to Silence. You can subscribe over there. Let's get some subscribers. I think about 3,000 people right now. That's pretty good for a very young, blossoming channel. So that's really good.
We're getting there with it. I mean, we don't talk about the case a lot,
sure,
that type of thing. Again, that's not the premise of it.
It's more about the people.
We're really about the people. We want to engage the people. When we start the shows off, we're saying recently, if you have ideas, you have topics you want to talk about, whatever, reach out to us. Let us know. That's what we want to be the channel that anybody can come to.
And I can say this, and I can actually verify this. I think you've been the only channel that Karen Reed has actually typed in a chat, because I remember that one time you did the vigil, and she actually came into your chat, and that was verified that she chatted. That's pretty cool.
And her birthday too.
Oh yeah, it was her birthday. We did a thing for her birthday.
Cool.
She was so happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the vigil was a whole different undertaking.
That was a lot of corruption behind that too, with the Braintree police.
Yeah, the Braintree police called me up. They said it's not a good idea, and they tried to talk us out of it.
Wow.
So we were like, what the hell are we gonna do now?
Right.
We wanted to do something for John, and again, you guys on about justice for John. It's like, well, we did
we
hosted a vigil for him, and the Braintree police were dead set against it. We actually had the church in town they would come and speak.
It was actually the church where John's funeral was held.
Right. It was John's church, basically. Wow. And once the word got around, they called me right back. We're busy.
Yeah.
So they backed out, and then we started getting phone calls from the police, Braintree PD. This is not a great idea.
There's going to be counter
protesters. It's not going to go the way you want it to.
Yeah. Words like that.
It's like they think they're going to stop us.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they ended up stopping us, but but I think the way we did it was
you did it
little
online,
bit,
which was great because
but
you got everybody.
But we punted, so we solicited everybody's videos and say kind word to John about John, and I'm not a religious person by any stretch of the means, but I wrote some kind of
we knew John was
script and prayer,
the
whole 9 yards. So it was. I think it was well received, and
it was.
I think it was one of those things. But again, it's about the people. We wanted to engage everybody and say, we're going to have a vigil for John. Come forward and give us.
You had one. You submitted.
Yeah,
one.
I submitted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know. I think that's where the channel is going. So
good.
What we do, it's kind of day to day, week to week.
Yeah.
I was like, what are we going to do next week? I don't know. But we had Sean on.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've had some big guests on. You've had Sean on.
Shauna,
We've jumped on. I think you've had Will on. Some certain points. So I mean, it's for a fledgling channel. You've had some really big people. In the movement.
Oh yeah. We had Jen.
Yep. Rita.
Peter Murphy.
Peter Murphy.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't even had Peter on my
you gotta
channel
get
yet.
Peter
I
on.
know.
He's such
I've been talking to him.
What
We're
a
going to do
love.
something
Good.
soon.
He's
so.
fantastic.
He's an
Yeah,
amazing
he's
man.
going to come into the studio and hang out.
Good.
Again, one of the people that I've met through this whole movement that I'm like, this guy,
sweetheart.
This guy should have been in my life years
Yeah.
ago, you know?
Yeah.
So
that's what we're finding.
I look at there's so many of them now.
Yeah, there are.
I look at all those, the Sweeneys.
Oh, yeah.
I could go on and on.
Yeah.
On a list of people, but there's so many people that are just. I reach out to, or they randomly reach out to me. How are you?
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. How you doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap, man. I don't get these messages.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah, my family doesn't message me. Like, hey, how you doing? Like, well, it's been 3 months. I guess I'm doing okay.
Lots of things going on.
Yeah.
No, that's good. And I just saw in the chat that a couple people went over and just subscribed, so that's good.
Awesome.
Yeah, we
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So any parting words or anything you want to get out there to the people? You got a little bit of a platform here if you want to use that. And
I just say keep getting out there. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. And keep your eyes on the pages because Paul, Deanna, those guys are working really hard to coordinate all that stuff. And we'll have it on. They'll post it on our page. They're all over the pages. So get out there. I think even the one that's on Labor Day, they want it to be worldwide.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's what we're trying to do. Yeah.
That's going to be great.
And
Not
I do
just
know
statewide
I got a little bit of information. The Reed family is going to be planning another bigger one. I'm not going to talk about it yet, but it seems like it's going to be possibly the middle of September. So everybody keep their eyes out for that. More details to come. And I can't wait for that. That's going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me just get this really quick. KV, thank you so much for the $10. It's studio plus fit game plus guest equal A1. I love that. That's really awesome. Thank you. This was an awesome conversation tonight. And Dana, anything you want to say to the crowd before we close it up?
No, like Tracy said, I mean, keep getting out there, keep spreading the word. This is what we're here to do. Always keep it peaceful. I know going to court now, we're not used to opposition.
Yep. And they are showing up.
They're showing
up. And I said, where have you been?
Yeah,
exactly. But the thing is, thinking of that is, they think that when they yell justice for John, like we're gonna be like, no.
Yeah, right. That's what we want.
Well, yeah. I think Will said it. Join along with them.
Right.
Say it. Justice for John. Absolutely. Yes. Justice 100%. For John. That's what they think that we're not.
I know, it's crazy.
It's the most bizarre thing in the world because that's exactly why we're there.
Yeah.
We're there for Justice for Officer John O'Keefe, and we're there for Karen Reed. And, but keep going, keep doing what we're doing. It's gotten so much bigger. New people show up. The new people that show up, you don't look at people as, who are you to tell me what to do, enforcing the rules. Some of these people have been involved for a long time, and they know what's expected in front of the courthouse.
Yeah.
And they're just looking out for you.
Yep.
Yeah. Best practices.
Yeah.
Best practices.
Best practices.
Yeah.
It's because
listen to the veterans. We know what we're doing.
It's true.
Yeah, we've been out there.
Because if I go up to somebody that I don't know, hey, by the way, can you tone it down a little bit?
Right.
Who are you to tell me what to do? So
it's just to keep the best interest of the crowd.
So police yourself.
Of course.
Police your people. Police your friends. But keep up the good work. Everybody's killing it. We're doing a good job.
You're all doing amazing. And thank you all for watching these shows. And like I said, go over and subscribe to Dana and Tracy's channel, Resistance to Silence. Pop on that notification bell so you know when they come on, and we'll definitely have them come back at some point during the hearings of the trial.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
And thank you for spending this time. This was probably one of my most relaxed streams that I've had, the most comfortable. So
that's good.
You all kind of made me feel at ease, and
outstanding.
And it was just really great. So thank you everybody so much for watching tonight. I think TB is on at 9 tonight, so I encourage everybody to go over and watch Turtle Boy at 9. There might be other streams running right now. If you can catch those in between TV, go support them. And again, support Dana and Tracy. They're complete sweethearts, and I'm glad that both y'all came up and checked out LTL Studio today. And we had a really fun time.
Absolutely.
So, thanks for having us.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. We'll have you back at some point. All right, everybody. I'm gonna hit the outro. Thank you so much for being here, watching the show tonight. I hope to be back here soon. I think I'm going to do maybe a members only live tomorrow night at some point. I'll post it up, and we'll see all the members then. All right, everybody, we're going to take off. Wave up there to everybody.
Bye, everybody.
All right, we'll talk to you all soon. Here's the outro.